You suppose there's been another incident? Like the one with the Sovereign?
No. It seems we may have been intruded upon during the Consul's announcement. I heard it from one of Valancourt's men. An outsider, apparently. Violent.
How ghastly. Well, Valancourt no doubt has it in hand. Perhaps this will take some of his edge off and he'll let us alone after.
A hypothesis that does not hold much water, I fear.
Let the paradigm worry about tomorrow.
Hostiles there.
I am obliged to check it out.
Let me know when you need an extraction.
Seeking cover.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
I'll have to reload. Moving to safety.
Contact lost.
These quarters are awful meticulous. Makes me wonder what Valancourt might be hiding hereabouts.
They never questioned, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged.
Having that device nabbed on his watch nigh guarantees Valancourt a long stay and mental refreshment, if he is not subjected to swift and fitting arbitration first. What? If that's true, we must act quickly. Anything on his terminal cannot be relied upon for long. We need proof we can hold in our hands. I'll lead us to the restricted wing now. Once there, reopen the rift using the modulator so we can begin searching for more irrefutable proof. There's the sorry excuse of interstitial reconfigurating matter that claimed my arm. Let's open the hood, shall we? Rifts reconstitute matter in an imprecise manner, but use your imagination to conjure the original scene that could lead us to the evidence. The evidence we need. You've discovered something? I had heard rumors of the Sovereign's diminished popularity since the war began, but I scarcely trusted their veracity. That any subject should commit such an abominable offense against the Matriarch's own blood? It is nigh impossible to fathom. Did you uncover anything else? I knew it! I am absolved. And yet, I cannot possibly imagine what would have possessed him to deliberately endanger the Sovereign's life. It's unconscionable. I would characterize Valancourt as many vile and unmentionable things, but a traitor? No. A man cannot defecate without humming a Protectorate anthem. For all the time I've spent trying to unsnarl Valancourt's mercurial behavior, it seems there was yet more I did not know about him. I think I'm beginning to understand exactly what happened here. But if you have any additional points of data, please share them. How did this go unnoticed during final checks? This is surely why the rift destabilized on us. You've provided more evidence than I could have hoped for. Thank you. Valancourt must have sought to curry favor with the Consul by eliminating the Sovereign and making space for the Consul to step into power. He sabotaged the machine, hoping the Rift would perform his dirty work for him, and left me to suffer the repercussions. Our dear head of security has much to answer for. We need to go and confront Valancourt, now. Absolutely not. I want to see that villain's face when his crime is finally exposed. The dead do make poor chroniclers. Very well. Much as I would like to be present for the hoisting of Valancourt's petard, there's sense in what you say. Valancourt is unlikely to provide conversation before slipping you a bullet, so I recommend slipping him one first. Be ready to fight and give him no quarter. When it's done, return to me. Erstwhile, I will be doing my ample best not to chew through my nail beds.
Investigating hostile intentions.
You've denied me this fight long enough. Guards, see to this intruder with extreme prejudice.
Adversary vulnerabilities
Guards!
identified.
One of the two of you alive to do their duty to me. Matter. I will teach you myself.
Multiplicator at ready status. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Proceeding to attack. Threat detected. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
I heard fighting. Well, what happened? Did he beg forgiveness? Did he grovel? Thus always to traitors. Morale will certainly improve in the lab now, I should think, provided Valancourt's replacement is not also an absolute Pilgarlic. I had prepared this trauma kit, but obviously that turned out to be an unnecessary precaution. Please, take it with my gratitude. I'm not sure murdering the head of security at a highly valued research facility makes the argument you think it does, but noted. Have no fear. No evidence of our little collaboration will survive. I'll see to it.
Now that you have the Rift modulator, any previously inaccessible rifts could be worth revisiting. Rifts may contain useful equipment and resources. However, due to the chaotic nature of reconstitution, some creative problem-solving may be required in reaching them.
Commander, can we talk?
Commander, I've been thinking on the fact that so many of my slack-witted brethren believe it reasonable that I've been marked for death. So much so that I've missed the obvious, our communication devices. There is someone who would have tried to contact me to warn me. Someone who wouldn't have been taken in by a faked kill order. Not from him. He was different from most of these slack-jawed sprat bastards. I knew him from before. Long before the Glorious Dawn. We had a secret code we used to hide things from our parents before... Well, never mind that. Anyway, if he used that code to embed a message to me within a Dawn missive, no one would have even known it was there. I should have been checking our comm devices, damn it. I know we have camps on Cloister and Praetor, but I'm not sure of the exact locations. I'd like to try to find one and clear it out so I can access one of our devices. Hopefully, it will bring me that much closer to whoever it is I need to kill to put an end to this nonsense.
Lovely day for a coup, dear. The only surprise about the Protectorate's consul usurping the Sovereign's authority is it did not happen sooner. Inquire away. I may even respond. Oh, I am a dedicated member of the Order. Beyond that, there's really little you or anyone need to hear about. Consider yourself lucky. You already know more about me than anyone else I've met in the last 20-odd years. Information free of context can be off-putting, confusing, dangerous even, if misjudged. I mentioned before I was part of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. My role there, you may recall, was head intercessor. I was tasked to influence pivotal events, to keep the solving of the equation on track. Something occurred. I needed to step off the board a while. To put it mildly, after the incident in question, seeking refuge seemed prudent. Dorado appealed to me because it was off the board but not completely remote. There I could lie low for a time, but observe. So I'd believed. Our department was shuttered shortly after Ruth Pissar took office. To avoid undue attention, I remained in hiding. May all our travails add to the equation.
Choice has got a new shipment of swill. Gave it a try. Needs some aging. Not too bad.
What? I was just with Arnie. He said we're not getting any new shipments for months. What did he let you try?
Well, maybe
10 more bits and I can buy my kid her first gun. Come on, have a heart.
Finest Starlife on it.
That wasn't booze. That was ship wax.
Really? Barney should start selling it then. It's better than half his stock.
was under the impression that Free Market Station was open to all. Why am I being accosted?
Free Market Station is open to all. Except spies. It's awful suspicious how you've been gallivanting about, asking everyone questions.
I am not a spy. The information I'm collecting here is something of the small, significant.
I'm sure that information wouldn't help at all. Carrying us out of the station years from now. I'll be watching you.
Hey, you there! If you're interested in furthering the cause of history, come speak with me.
Still going on about this? Sakes alive. You're a worse nuisance than our Sprat infest. Hope that wayward science type didn't disturb you much, friend. We of the station normally do our best to dissuade partisans from making nuisances of themselves. Suppose I can't stop you. Just don't let her convince you to do anything that might put you at odds with our security forces. All that aside, enjoy your time on the station. Don't get into any trouble.
Greetings! Are you perhaps interested in advancing the knowledge of Arcadia's history through scientific exploration? What am I saying? Of course you are. Please, do tell me anything you might know about the crash of the ACS free market. Do pardon my forwardness. I saw that you were a new arrival, but I held out some hope that you might be able to enlighten me where the station populace has not. As an archivist, it's my duty to collect and record hitherto unrecorded knowledge wherever it can be found. But my earnest questions have been met with suspicion. You're correct. Unfortunately, I'll take that question to mean that I can't interview you for more information. Fiddlesticks. If some independent preservationist would be willing to assist me in discovering the truth, I certainly would appreciate it. That's great. I can offer you a stipend from my exploratory budget for anything you might manage to discover. Converse with the locals, peer into unturned corners, and see what your able hand might unearth. I look forward to furthering the cause of history with you. I'd ask about in the saloon and the bazaar. Both are places where gossip flies about like so many tarot rays. Sub Rosa likely has some information about the crash, but I'm not sure where. You also might be able to find some intact portion of the ship amidst all of the station's wreckage. Take a look around. I'm sure you'll be able to get farther on your own.
If it inflicts grievous bodily harm on other people, I've got it!
selling anything, I assure you.
I'm beginning to reach the tail end of my patience. You will tell me the location of the broker.
Lad, you ain't got much of a concept of a deal, do you? You ain't got nothing to offer, and a threat is offering less than nothing.
Stand for obstruction of justice long before now? That I am flowing with magnanimity?
Can't say I know what that word means. Stranger, seen my fix? Hope you're about to offer to rid me of this damn fool.
There is no ridding yourself of me save through violence, and any according attempt would be a grave error. I came to meet with the information broker for, Protectorate business, Protectorate reasons. However, I find myself foiled at near every turn. None within the Protectorate would defy an Arbiter and expect to live. Regrettably, I cannot make the locals see reason without rendering myself unable to learn what I seek.
Even polite entreaties don't see most getting an invite to the broker, and you've been anything but. See, you may have thought you said have an audience, but what you actually said was let him assassinate.
Do I look like a sentinel to you? No, don't answer that. My point is that if I wanted to kill everyone here, we would not be having this obnoxious conversation.
No matter what this fella says, he's not going to convince me to trust him. He's a walking security risk.
You suggest a partnership? An Arbiter working closely with a third party is unheard of. But I suppose if I've no choice...
Interesting thought. Occurs to me there might just be something that needs looking into. Within the Golden Ridge locale on Dorado, there's a refugee camp. It's unassuming, quiet-like. Most of the folks there just want to be left alone. They see to the few needs they have by working with the broker, but we ain't heard from them in a fortnight and change. Serves to reason something untoward may have transpired there. You see your way to looking into that, maybe we'll talk. That's between them and Sub Rosa. You in or you out? Great! Take the lap canid with you. I've had enough of his excitability, and so have my customers.
I don't claim to be pleased with the circumstances surrounding this co-investigation, but perhaps we may surprise one another. I'm Arbiter Tristan Rao. When I was an apprentice, yes, but not since. And certainly never with an outsider. I shall meet you at the camp. Let us hope we both arrive there intact.
Come now, Prospero, you've been on that stage hundreds of times. This perturbation looks bad on you, and you're not one for looking bad. Terribly sorry you've got me ruminating. A man of my persuasion shouldn't stoop to such self-deprecation, especially in front of prospective customers. You've identified me properly. But information transference is the lifeblood of Free Market Station, and if you want a transfusion, you'll have to grant me a spot of help. I'm in charge of keeping the patrons of the saloon entertained. Normally this does not present an issue, but I learned that an old flame of mine shall attend my next performance. My resolve is uncharacteristically flagging. I find myself fixating on the most minute of issues. I need something to bolster my confidence. She knows my real name. Prospero's just a stage title, as it happens. There's a certain kind of intimacy that I fear shall be difficult to ignore. Liquid courage has never failed me, but I have a discerning palate. The Automech chef in the bazaar sells my preferred brand of alcohol, though it can be headstrong. You see, I can't just drink any old swill from the bar. My refined palate can only stomach one drink. Iceberg aged whiskey. Something of a collector's item, I'm told. Now, if you'll excuse me, an artist must be granted solitude to properly amass his mental forces.
Another challenger approaches. Prepare to be sent weeping from my curio collection. None have defeated my collections, and none shall. But I do so delight in a competition. Are you prepared to do battle? The Spectrum Dance Saber, a prototype weapon of Auntie's heyday. I shan't spoil its implications, not unless you prove your worth. Cards, my dear, of the toss ball and pitch ball variety. I must see if your collection bests my own. Sporting! Let us do battle! That's an impressive number of cards, my friend, but not... Wait a moment. No. Your cards. You have multiple that I do not. Your collection has defeated me. Though this defeat leaves the taste of dirt and blood in my mouth, I am not dishonorable. I present to you my other collected wares. I have no doubt they shall impress.
If you lost it, I'm selling it. I feel I should address any allegations you may have heard regarding bloodstains on my inventory. Just means it's been well loved. Tell me what you need. Can do. Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Buy some new armor today.
Stimulants, medicaments, drugs. Get your drugs here.
You've timed your visit well. I finished sharpening my organ-cutting knife mere minutes ago. If you've wounds that need stitching or teeth that need scrutiny, medicaments and more, all sufficiently regulated or thereabouts.
I truly expected our neighbor to thank me for turning in her daughter. I believed it was a good thing.
Anybody even listening to this?
They said.
Let me sell you stuff? Listen, I know I shouldn't warn you about this, but anything I sell you runs the risk of exploding. I trust you'll appreciate my forthrightness and be all the more willing to buy from me. No. Ships decidedly ain't in my purview. You sure I can't interest you in some bric-a-brac instead? You can tell? Damnation. Sounds like you know what it's like working with technology. Maybe I can confide in you. Before it crashed, I served on the free market as a secondary engineer, first grade. Had a colleague who was very talented, but not very good at hiding it. The supervisor saw her as a threat and demoted her to the engine room. She wasn't the type to take a blow without dodging. My colleague sabotaged the engines when her partner was on his mandated 2-minute break. When the free market attempted to breach orbit, well, just about everyone died. I made it to an escape pod on the port side. The ship landed on its starboard. I got lucky. Yeah, me too. Anyway, can we get back to subjects that aren't this? I got goods to sell. I'd be happy to show you.
Calling all former Protectorate. Join our training group to learn, well now, you have an ineffable air of intrigue about you. Weren't raised Protectorate, were you? Who are you? I probably should know what that is, but I don't. Sounds real legitimate, though. Sorry, I'm Millie Mealing. I started a training group here to help ex-Protectorate subjects adjust to having to care for and, well, think for themselves. We also try to reconnect them with loved ones. Know the concept of community can be alien to most, but we occasionally enlist aid from wayfaring travelers like yourself. Try to, that is. Not officially. Not yet, that is. We discussed a few, like first steps or community for community. The Group Betterment Alliance was another. Somebody suggested the unparadigmatic, but that sounded rather like the Order to me. Like you need to think about it a while, then it still doesn't make much sense. Someone proposed the Awful Freedom Association, which, prompted a spontaneous collegial embrace around them from all of us. This isn't easy on everybody, you know? Do like the sense of implied camaraderie. Got my vote. Oh, that's a new thing for us. We vote on things. So I'll raise your suggestion to the group and we'll vote on it. Now, as I was saying, sometimes we do need a little assistance. Involves the mental refreshment facility on Praetor. Not sure what you know about the process, but we were told all our lives to volunteer others for treatment was a blessing. To replenish someone's zeal and ensure our perfect society ran perfectly. What they didn't tell us was the person who comes back weren't always the same. Wish we had. They never said. You weren't meant to ask neither. My father, he liked to alter official Protectorate songs to make them about his favorite pitchball club. Wasn't expressly prohibited, but it was different. Didn't learn about all their lies till later. took our settlement being deemed a recreant locality for most of us to leave. One morning, we were all marked for death because Auntie's Choice had seized a grain silo on the edge of town. They expected us to die in its defense. Most of us have similar stories. None are quite used to fending for ourselves. Things like bargaining, manual labor, asking questions. Sugar. Have each other, though. All of us here lack much in the way of appreciable, applicable skills, honestly. Used to spend our days programming automechs to do work for us. The idea of sneaking past guards, possibly fighting them, fast talking our way in? Me and the others are still struggling with, the basics of commerce. Pretty sure we're being charged 3 times the going rate for everything around here, if you want to know how that's going for us. All right, I can assemble some bits from the other refugees. One of us has a shock assault rifle with some extra oomph. We can give you that, too. Once my father is freed, that is. I do know a little about how things work. At least, I'm learning. Good. If you make it past the guards outside, you could maybe present yourself at the front desk as a walk-in, a subject voluntarily turning themselves in for mental refreshment. Look for my father inside. Name's Waylon. Waylon Mealing. Might have to convince him to go, depending... Don't want to think about what he's been through. Hope he's all right. We'll post someone out back to wait for him, where the guards don't patrol. Meet me here afterward. I can't tell you how much this means to me. Do mind how you go.
I never knew life could be so open.
Buy from me and live to tell your fellows about my store. Hey, you smell gunpowder? Do you want to? Then buy one of my handy firearms. Browse all you like. Everything I've got is fine-tuned to perfection. That's privileged information, friend. If you want it, you're going to have to kill me. Just jesting. Feel free to go on a murderous rampage with what you buy. It's good publicity.
Get caught unawares all you like. My armor will keep you safe.
Error. Roach Sales Grandstanding. Welcome to our stall. We hope this is the first meal you ever have in your life. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Yes, Iceberg Aged Whiskey is currently on reserve for Prospero Palo. Current customer is not Prospero Palo. Unit cannot vend to current customer. Scanning error. Cannot ascertain identity of current customer. Purging all vending restrictions. Eliminating one restriction. Vending Iceberg Aged Whiskey complete. Thank you for your patronage. All wares were at some point cooked fresh. Meals currently sold with both salt and pepper. Available today only.
You need coveralls. We got coveralls.
As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being nervous does not. In fact, my friend. Excellent. Thank you. Very well. You wish to know about the crash, yes? Are you prepared for a sordid tale of drama and woe? You, my friend, remind me of my critics. Very well. Everyone knows that the free market's captain was a hopeless romantic, especially disposed to giving too much of her heart to those inclined to break it. The final betrayal came from a dashing rogue smuggler who vanished with most of her bits. The good captain had about all she could endure. With nothing to live for, the aggrieved captain sent the free market into a suicidal tailspin. The crew attempted to wrest the controls from her to save them from their fate, but alas, too late. That's all I know. I thank you for your help once again. And now I must get ready for my set.
You just bought a shooter from not a weapons store, right? As a treat?
Greetings. How has the data collection fared? Finally, a breakthrough. Let's hear it. How did the ACS free market meet its end? So the backstabbing nature of Auntie's choice is hampering even the most basic of command chains. Good to know. Aside from the crash, what occurred in the ship's final moments? An incompetent captain and an incompetent crew. Tisk tisk. Last question. Were there any contributing factors to the crash? Anything that might recontextualize what actually happened? Scuttling an entire freighter and killing hundreds, all for a few extra bits. Interesting to know. Thanks to you, my report is complete. Here, something for your considerable help. Auntie's Choice seems to be inundated with its own problems, technical and personnel alike. We should have ample opportunity to use this for propaganda purposes. You should have said so. Here's something extra from my stipend. Now I need to get this report to my superiors. Thanks again.
Latest contraband came in. Looked like quite the haul. Any standouts? A couple dozen Auntie's Choice sales logs. Some notes from a high-profile order.
So you did come. Good. I'm not partial to working with those given to second thoughts. It seems we arrive on a desolate scene. I don't know what transpired, but whatever it was killed the refugees to a person. As an Arbiter, I bear a strong stomach. But if you've any reservations about witnessing destruction visited upon the innocent, you'd best steel yourself. I've some theories on the refugees' killers, but I remain unsatisfied. Although I am not required to do so as an Arbiter, I would care to acquire proof. We operate under the Sovereign's indefatigable will. Thus, we do not need proof. But my training was somewhat unique in that it emphasized the value of thorough investigation. Let us comb the remnants of this charnel house. Is that? Yes, that's an incisor, all right. the paradigm. I cannot help but feel a pang for these people, cut down without a hope of defense. We must uncover what transpired here. Let's hear it. I doubt it factored in their inadequacy in the face of a superior force. Assuming there was a superior force. The distinct lack of automechanical corpses around us supports your point. It seems the defenders did not defend. Did you have anything else? Seems this base has seen its share of destruction. I maintain that it feels deliberate, judging by the still standing buildings. Was there anything remarkable about it? Good observation. Suffice it to say, the Protectorate would not take kindly to such a theft. The fact that this camp isn't a bullet-strewn ruin suggests it was wiped out by something precise, or at least not as destructive as traditional weapons of war. Did you learn anything by examining the body? Interesting. Dragoon automechs wield shock cannons, and the refugees may have had some for defensive purposes. That automechanicals would fall in the camp's defense is logical. That there would only be one is not. Did you notice anything interesting about it? then it was fighting blind. Doesn't seem like something a defensive automech should be doing. Very well. I shall continue to search on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? You've been busy. What did you find? Must be the shortwave, as we already found the long band. Odd that our assailant would pay it any mind. I don't believe I would have learned that on my own. Seems I underestimated you. That's exceedingly useful. Did you have anything else? You're certain you've combed the place to your liking? Very well. I shall continue to search on my own. Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? You're certain you've combed the place to your liking? Then let us debrief and see if we can't deduce what transpired here. Have you any theories as to what killed these people? I have a strong theory, but there are gaps. I'd like to hear your own analysis, and we may compare where our ideas converge. Although I'm no ballistics expert, the death wounds on the corpses appear to match those inflicted by an automech. Have any theories about the automechs that did this? My thoughts exactly. How do you believe they were compromised? It seems so simple, and yet it also appears to be the most probable outcome. I agree. The only remaining puzzle piece is why. Why go through all this trouble to eliminate a handful of isolated refugees? Yes, that relay tower in the rear of the camp was clearly not built by the refugees, but stolen from the Protectorate, which likely means that they were Protectorate as well. The refugees must have used it to listen in on Protectorate communications, then sold what they learned to Sub Rosa. After the Vox Relay's recent destruction, High Command would have ordered a security sweep of all communication systems. This outpost's relay would have returned a signal. Upon learning of this camp's existence, they'd have dispatched a sentinel to cross off any would-be traitors. hence the destruction we bear witness to. I do pride myself on my thoroughness indeed, though not all arbiters feel the need to be equally thorough. Now with that finished, we... Hold. Some things approach. Be ready. I suspect someone has disapproved of our inquiry. Seems the machines returned, bent on eliminating any stragglers. To arms!
Proceeding to attack. Combatant scan. Recharge the mayhem.
Stand against us!
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
That was a hardy engagement. You held your own admirably. These automechs will never be used to perpetrate such heinous acts again. I believe we're at the end of our investigation. The prospect of sharing our findings with the broker isn't terribly appealing, but we've little choice. I will locate my wretched Sub Rosa transport and return to Free Market Station. Pleasure fighting beside you. Be sure you return to Free Market Station to debrief with me. Despite our work here, I somehow doubt the broker would grant an audience to me alone.